All right, folks. So it's Friday today. You have to turn your essay in Wednesday. How many paper copies do you need to bring? Yes, bring them. Like have them printed. As a reminder, I won't be here, so you'll need to like have them printed and exchange them amongst yourselves, and then start giving feedback to each other. So today I'm going to talk at you for about 15 minutes, explain the rubric that I will use rather, and then show you some quality critique paragraphs. So first, let's go to the rubric. It's this link here in Canvas. All right, the rubric. It is a rubric that Ivy Tech gave me, which is another way of saying Ivy Tech makes me use it, which I'm fine with. I think it's a quality rubric. So I will use it for the major essays. It contains different categories like focus. Is your entire paper about the same topic, or do you digress? Do you lose track of the argument? Does the reader just become confused while reading through your argument? Organization, support. So do you have quality quotation marks, and do you have critical thinking that explains? Thank you. That explains those quotations. Next, next, conventions, which is another way of saying usage, grammar, spelling, punctuation. By and large, this is more of a problem than I wish it were, and I don't think it's a lack of knowledge. I just think it's a sometimes it's a lack of knowledge. Sometimes problems with conventions are a result of laziness. For instance, I read an essay, a timed essay, where the senior in high school failed to capitalize the U in United and the S in States. That's just pure laziness. So fix your conventions. Don't let it be a problem with laziness. If it's a problem that you just don't know how to do this, great. Look it up. Ask me. I'll help you. But don't let that become a problem because of laziness. And then documentation and formatting. You just need to make your essay. Let's see. You need to put in a proper works cited page. You need to cite correctly. I'll talk more about citing on Monday. So here's your rubric. It's weighted as well. So each category has its own specific weight. You can earn up to 5 points for each category. 5 would be equivalent to A, 4 B, 3 C, etc. 0 to 2.5 would be D or F, just depending on the quality of whatever it is you submitted. So focus and organization are worth the same amount, 25 points out of 150. Support and critical thinking, I need to adjust these categories. So support should be worth 20, critical thinking 25, or 30 rather. Conventions worth 20, documentation and formatting worth 30. Weighted categories, right? Any questions about the rubric? You have access to it, so you can read the individual categories on your own. Just know that you have access to it. Next, the example critique paragraphs. So, like I said, I found a couple where the students do it right, like they explain the quotation successfully. They explain how the move is used successfully. So I wanted to show you these in the hopes that you can gain some insight from them. All right, so open them up. Turn your laptop around so that I can see we're all on the same digital page. Let's see, about 14 turned around. Others are loading. Good. Yes. So it's on my desk against the wall. All right. One piece of feedback that I've given multiple times is this one. Author uses X to accomplish Y. That's the sentence. That's the formula I want you to put into your brain as you write critique paragraphs and as you write your thesis statement. You need to say that the author uses whatever move to accomplish some goal. By and large, you folks are doing a good job of telling me this part. Mary Ray Worley uses clothes as a symbol. Okay, yeah, that's a move. But what's she do it for? Oh, she uses clothes as a symbol to create a contrast between her more judgmental home planet and her more open, accepting new planet. Okay, that's the purpose that she puts the move toward. Yeah.
So like in the ace like structure, would it be okay if you just say author uses X in your assertion and then in your explanations you do like accomplish Y?
Great question. So it was asked, could you just put the author uses X in the assertion and then accomplish Y in the explanation? So you do need to explain that to accomplish Y in the explanation, but you also need to put it in the assertion. And let's say you left it out, that to accomplish Y part. If you left it out, go to your explanation, and it's probably buried somewhere in there. It's like look in the E part, the explain part of your critique paragraph, and I bet the to accomplish Y part is already written. It's just written somewhere else in the paragraph. So I have two paragraphs that follow this pattern well, and I want to show you how it works. Thank you. End of class. There you go. So let's look at paragraph 1. Follow along with me. Whatever I highlight, you highlight. So I'm going to make that part bold. And I'm going to make that part bolded and underlined. So the paragraph begins, when describing how many hours her husband spends at work, Edelman uses descriptive word choice to emphasize her husband's absence. Now the first part, that top part, it's just transition. It's a useful transition, but it's just transition. So let's look at the second part of that first sentence right here. Edelman uses descriptive word choice to emphasize her husband's absence. So Edelman uses X to do Y. What is the X in this highlighted sentence? Yeah. Okay, that's the move using descriptive word choice. And what's the Y, the purpose of the descriptive word choice? Like, what does it do? I'm trying not to say names because of the video.
It just like shows that like let me read it.
Well, I mean, just tell me why does she use the descriptive word choice?
To make it more so you could like imagine it more.
You're you're kind of overthinking it.
Yeah,
Go ahead. So look at the pattern. We have and everyone, like I want you to see the pattern. Author uses X, Edelman uses descriptive word choice to accomplish Y, to emphasize her husband's absence. That's it. That's the pattern. So we bold this and then bold and underline this. You need that sentence in your assertion. We're gonna make this blue since it is the assertion. So whatever I highlight, you highlight. Whatever I make bold, you make bold. So we start with a quality assertion that tells us the move and tells us the purpose of the move. And then, okay, so the next thing we're looking for is the citation, which lo and behold we get. So I'm going to make it yellow. Compare the amount of time he spends at work to how long it takes a scientist to split the atom, which in her eyes translates to every waking moment. So we have a relevant quotation with some descriptive word choice. And the student does a great job of splitting up the quotation. So we have split the atom, 3 words, every waking moment, another 3 words, 6 total words, but well integrated into her paragraph. So kudos to her for that. The paragraph continues. This comparison gives the reader a better understanding and visualization of how much Edelman's husband is not present in their home life. So we have the explanation, right? Then the student gives another quotation and then more explanation. So in this paragraph, the student gave us an ACE-CE format, which is fine. You don't have to do that. You can go ACE just standard. But she chose to give us the ACE-CE format. And again, in the C, the yellow, she says, she quotes stinking rich, but those are the only 2 words she quotes. That's it. That's all she needs to quote. So she's not over quoting, right? if I were to give one piece of feedback, like one suggestion for this paragraph, I would say that the explain sentences should refer to the specific quoted words more often. So in this explain, why use the phrase split the atom? Like, why does that phrase communicate that the husband was gone all the time? Regardless, this is the student wrote this paragraph in a timed fashion, and it's rather good. Like, this is a good paragraph for an essay that you get to take home and finish in a week. It's a really good paragraph considering the student wrote it under time circumstances. We have a second example. It comes from, so the first example actually came from this class. Second example, I believe, came from first period, I believe. I want you to highlight the second paragraph the way I highlighted the first one, meaning, identify the assert and then, the X part and the Y part, and then find the citation and explanation. The second paragraph may or may not use the ACECE format. Just figure out what it does. Highlight it appropriately. Go. Keep going, folks. So far, so good. What's yours? Couldn't remember. Done. Take another 15 seconds. Let me ask you this. Do you see any other quotations in the rest of the paragraph? So what is she doing in the rest of the paragraph? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Compare notes with the person next to you and tell the person, okay, I made this blue because of this. Oh, I saw that she made this kind of assertion sentence. Anyway, compare notes to each other. Talk to each other. Go. All right, finish up soon. All right, good folks. Eyeballs to the screen. Here's what I saw. I'm just going to say it like that. Here's what I saw. If yours is slightly different, so be it. But I need you to tell me, what is the assertion, the blue sentence, do well? Hannah. Yeah. What's the X, Michael? Okay, uses symbolism. And yeah,
I was gonna note something. Like she not only like does X, Y, she also like gives context to the situation by saying like as they struggle their partner.
hmm you don't have to provide that context. You can.
I guess
hmm So the X is the uses symbolism. The Y, I mean, it's obvious, but I still want to hear it. The Y is what? Go ahead.
Enhancing the complexity of the relationship with their husband.
Yes. And we only have, I only highlighted one sentence yellow because I only see one quotation, which means we have a significant amount of explanation. Now, sometimes a significant amount of explanation just turns into wordiness. I think the student does a pretty good job of not being wordy, but just unpacking the quotation thoroughly. So this first sentence explains like what is the word? No, that's hard to read. Let's make it bold. What does the word circus imply? Okay, well, it implies like this hectic relationship. It implies chaos. Okay, and then the second sentence expands on this idea of a circus as being this place where there's just a lot going on, some kind of chaotic situation, and connects it to marriage. So explain what circus means and then connect it to marriage. And then the quote defends the author's argument that society standards don't exist. Da, 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 da. For the rest of the explain, the student connects circus to or explains how circus defends her main claim that co-parenting isn't happening. So first unpack what the word choice means, and then explain how the word choice supports the main argument of the essay. It's a thorough explain, it's a quality explain. Now granted, there's a little mistake here, put the apostrophe, but again, the student wrote this in a timed fashion. I wrote a high quality paragraph in a timed fashion. If you write your critique paragraphs, not your summary, not your intro, not your conclusion, but your critique paragraph like that, you're doing it right. So from 1 to 5, how helpful was it to see these two paragraphs? And if it's 2, that's fine. Just hold a hand up. Oh, this is really useful. Okay, good to know. I will save the video, post it to Canvas, and then I'll give you the rest of class to work. Ready, set, go.